Hi guys, welcome back to Jade Overland. New to the channel, my name's Chris. Today we're talking about diesel heaters. What we're going to be taking a look at today is a Vevor diesel heater. I've had this one for about a year now. I run it off of a Blue Eddy AC70, and it goes into my CVT Mt Hood. I just found out CVT is remaking the Mt Hood. Kind of excited to see what their new tent's going to be like. But I'm going to show you what the setup looks like, how I use it, and what the setup's like. So I haven't run this thing for about a year. I used it last year in Savannah, was the last time I tried it, and very successful. I held off on buying a diesel heater for a long time because of the expense. I thought it was going to be too expensive, and some of the options out there are really expensive. This one is not. This unit right here will run you about $108 on Vevor's website. It's got a couple things I really like. One is this little display right here. You'll see when I plug this in a second. It'll tell you your temperature. It walks you through the whole ignition system. Very, very easy to use. It also syncs up to your cell phone, which is really nice. So I'll throw on the app and then run the whole thing off the app. What's nice about that is I can control the temperature settings from the roof. So it also comes with this handy dandy little remote. Never used it. Never needed to. I boot up their application on the phone. It works great. I can run the heater. I can start it remotely. I can check the temperature settings. I can turn it up and down. We were up in Savannah last year running it, and it was high 30s, like 36, 37. My wife is not a fan of the cold, so I brought the heater, and she was a little bit apprehensive about sleeping in the tent in the cold weather because she's never done it before. Not that cold anyway. And I turned the heater on. We had it set at a level 2 out of 10, and it was cozy up there. It was like 68, 69. It was same temperature as the house. What I really like about the diesel heater is, unlike my Buddy heater, which produced a lot of moisture in the tent, you run that thing for like 3 or 4 days during a trip. Like I go on long, week-long trips. That Buddy heater's putting moisture into the tent the entire time. The diesel heater is very, very dry. So it's like running your house. It's conditioning the air, it's pumping in dry heat. It's very, very nice. I was able to run this unit for about a half a tank a night and a couple hundred watts of power. So this is roughly a 1,000 watt unit, my Blue Eddy. And so a couple hundred watts, and then the diesel, I mean, for a couple bucks of diesel a night, and then something with a power bank that I can just recharge while driving the next day. Yeah, no, definitely worth having. I'm going to get it set up real quick, and then I'll walk you through what it looks like. Real quick, just before we get going, the Vevor itself works great. Nothing wrong with it. But the first night I used it, you can see where the exhaust exit below. These little feet here and here, these little guys, that did not come with it. And so I actually had to dig a hole underneath the heater in the dirt to give the exhaust room to exit out, because without those feet, the exhaust is in the dirt. So that's suboptimal. So I went ahead and pulled up a CAD file online. I just Googled Vevor diesel heater feet, and I found these. My buddy Ryan has a 3D printer, so he printed them out for me. Then I went to Home Depot and I grabbed these little screws here. Now this has a metal screw that goes down into this. All I did was take the metal part, I heated it up with a lighter real quick, and then turned it into the plastic 3D printed part, and it kind of like it melted those threads into it. And then I pulled these back out. I cut them down to size because initially the thread was like that long. It was stupid. I knocked them down to like this with a Dremel, so they screw in real easy. The other part that I added, so it comes with this inlet that you can just put on the end of the hose. And the hose they send you is like, I don't know, a 12-inch hose. Not going to work. Not for my application anyway. So I bought one off of Amazon, just one of these flexible heater hoses. No big deal. And then I 3D printed this little guy. So all this is this piece here. You screw the part they give you right through it, and this will seal it onto your tent. So rather than just kind of jamming the hose through the window of the tent, this sits in there, and then I have some bungees that hold this on so it doesn't fall. And this gives me the ability to kind of seal the tent window around this. Kind of neat. You'll see what it looks like in a second, but I wanted to show you off. This was also found online on a file and 3D printed. Ryan did a great job. Thanks, Ryan. You can purchase these for like 30 or 40 bucks, but I think it was maybe $2 in materials to print it if you have access to a printer. All right, well, this is what that little piece looks like attached to the zipper. You can see it kind of just molds around the zipper, and the zippers kind of go right into the little slots there. Very neat and orderly. I'll just drop that down to seal the window, and then that goes down. See, I have turned on my Blue Eddy and powered up my DC. That gives power to my unit. All I do is come over, hit the little power button,
start heating,
and it goes through its start sequence. It's going to boot itself up. It takes a second because it's priming, running some diesel through, and it's going to hit the glow plug and get everything going. As soon as it kicks off, I'll show you what it's doing and then show you what the app looks like. This is what the app looks like. You can see it says ignition prepared, and it's doing its thing. It's warming itself up. It's all connected via Bluetooth to this unit. Down here I have the ability to turn up my levels, turn down my levels. I can turn it on and off with the power button. It lets me know what it's doing. I have had this thing kick off on me at night or overheating. No big deal. Happens. It will let me know on here that it did it, and I can restart it from here. So part of that is just it's a very inexpensive unit, but it really does work great. This running level you're seeing, this is as high as I've ever had to put it. Maybe before I get into bed I'll throw it up, but I'll think the highest I've ever run is maybe 5, just to get the system up and running, and then set it to a level 2. And I tell you, in Savannah, Georgia, in the mid to high 30s, that had it feeling like the house inside. Kind of hear it kicking off over here, sounding like a turbine. So that exhaust is starting to get hot. Let's see if it's getting warm up top. It sure is starting. So you may notice it is a little bit darker than it was when I started this video. That's because I've been messing with this thing to get it to run. It kept shutting off, giving me a low voltage error. It's an EO1 on the Vevor. I don't have low voltage. I'm running Blue Eddy power banks. I actually had to try 3 out, which is weird. I've got this little guy. It's an EB3A. It didn't like that one. This is my original. It's so old it's still rocking like the Max Oak symbol on it. This little 500 water I got a long time ago. It's worked great, and for some reason the heater likes it, so it's running. This thing's running at a steady 2 and has been for about 10 minutes now. It's a 2 out of 10, and as you can see from power consumption is about 10 watts, 11 watts. So this power bank will run this thing all night, more so a couple nights. Very easy setup. Air coming out of this thing is nice and toasty. And if I want to turn it up, got a handy little remote. So I'm up in the tent, I can just use my remote. It turns it up like you can see on the screen. And I don't know if it's picking it up on the audio, but it sounds like a little jet engine's taking off. And it really starts cranking. turn that down because that is not necessary. Now, the only thing you're going to hear out of this, and I'm hoping the mic is picking it up. See if I can get the mic close. Little teeny tiny bit of exhaust note, and you can hear, sorry, weird video. You can hear the clicking. That's just the fuel intake, just the fuel pump. It just click, 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 click. The first time I turned this thing on, I was like, man, that's gonna be annoying. In the tent, I don't even hear it, so not a big deal. I'll tell you when it's 35 degrees out and it's 70 in the tent, and I'm sitting on my memory foam air mattress. I have a Mega Mat Duo up there. I am comfy, cozy. It's like bleeding at home. Only thing else I bring up with me is my same pillow from home. So, got a memory foam pillow. I'm sleeping like I do at home. It's great. All right, that's the video. Just a quick video for these guys. No affiliation. I am not sponsored. This is the first diesel heater I've ever used. I would love to try out other stuff. I'll take that back. I have used another one. I've used a Webasto while I was in Iceland. We were camping in a Volkswagen, not like a microbus, but something like that, like a Volkswagen van out in Iceland we rented. And that heated the entire truck, and that was awesome. But the Webasto unit's like $1,000. And that's a hard mount, like a permanent mount type of deal. This thing I just put on the ground once in a while when I go out when it's cold out. I live in Florida, so I have a couple months where it's cold, and I do most of my wheeling up in Georgia, Tennessee, North Carolina, that kind of thing. And it does get pretty cold. It's, you know, teens, 20s, sometimes in the single digits, and having a heater has been amazing. I can be comfortable up there with blankets and a good sleeping bag and all that, but then when it comes time to get up in the morning and like do my little towel bath and put my clothes on and all that stuff, you freeze your butt off. Like, you're comfortable in the bag, but as soon as you get out, it sucks. With this, I have my own little like living quarters up there. Go to bed at night, I can sit up there and I can read my book and I can enjoy my evening and I can dress out and I'm warm like I am at home. So in my opinion, for the $100 it costs to get one, I would pick one up. All right, until next time, again, I'm Chris, this is Overland. Thanks for watching.